I don't usually like doing like proper intros to like podcasts and stuff because I just feel like it's a bit, I don't know, weird at times. But how are you doing, Donna?
I am doing well. I'm doing well.
Good.
The weather is nice out, and trying to defeat the burnout slowly.
Yeah. Well, speaking of, before we get on to things, what do you have any particular techniques for managing a burnout?
Well, I just let it simmer down slowly. Just completely burn it out.
I found that, well, for people that don't know, actually, before you get into things a bit more, do you want to explain a bit about like what you do, the kind of artwork you make? Because I'd say you've got like a particular interest in taking things from like films, favorite animation shows, etc. But you also do like product stuff. Do you want to like give a quick description?
So, what I do is realistic things. It's not specifically just creature design, but it's also like mimicking photography in a way.
Yeah.
So I take those things that I see, like for example, I see this dirty sidewalk and I 3D scan it, and when I go home, I model something on top of it. Like the image of the lollipop with the ants and stuff.
Oh,
that was just, I was sitting, waiting for the bus, and it was cloudy, so perfect 3D scanning weather. And I just saw it, the one of the pillars, I think, and I 3D scanned it, and I thought, this would look great with a fallen lollipop covered in ants.
Actually, let me make a note of that because it'll be nice to try and show this on the screen as well. So, like, as we're talking, I'll just make a note about that. But are you worried about like looking like a maniac if someone catches you? Like...
Oh no. No, I usually don't care about what other people think, because like the reality of who I am and the reality that who I am in other people's heads often most likely don't align.
That's
like,
true.
Yeah, I may look like a maniac, or I may look like I'm just like a weirdo for recording a tree or a sidewalk. But there are oftentimes some people who are curious about what I'm doing, and that's kind of like my cue to info dump.
Yeah.
So I that's the part I love. But yeah, I use Polycam as an app, which is amazing. So I just have to use my phone and upload them on my way home, and when I know that when I go home, it'll all be ready, unless it's like I didn't do a good job.
Yeah.
And it just turns into a mess of a 3D scan.
So when you're doing the scans with Polycam, are you doing the LiDAR or the photogrammetry?
I'm doing the photogrammetry one because my phone doesn't have LiDAR, and my iPad does, but it's like too big of a thing to hold.
Yeah.
But yeah, I prefer the photogrammetry one because there are more details. Like when I need to get really close up, when I said like mimicking photography, it's oftentimes like macro shots.
Yeah.
And that makes it a little easier. But yeah, I use the photogrammetry tool in Polycam,
it's good quality, isn't it?
It's very good quality, oddly enough.
It's using like the Apple machine learning cloud thing, I think. I don't really know too much
I
about
think
it.
so, because it did start with like an iOS and iPad OS only thing. And now it's also available on Android. But yeah, it did start as an Apple thing, and I think they're using, because it aligned, the launch of the photogrammetry tool aligned with Apple announcing the photogrammetry in WWDC 2021, if I'm not mistaken.
Right, okay.
And that got me really excited. But yeah, it aligned with that, and I've been using it since. I have, I don't know, a lot of 3D scans on Polycam. Let me just double check, because I think that it shows a number.
I think, didn't you also put some stuff up on Gumroad? Is that still...
Yeah, it's still there. I haven't had any sales, but
maybe we can change that.
With it. Ooh, hopefully. Yeah. But I actually bought one of those like small $15 boxes, boxes. Right. And I made a turntable.
Oh, I'm jealous. So, I want to do one of those.
But for a lot of them, I actually just like went and used my flashlight and a lot of like screens with just Googling white on Google Images and zooming in so that I get the perfect like light, uniform white light.
Yeah, that's probably a smarter idea, because if you go full screen on that, you'll get rid of all the stuff. But what I've done before is I've just opened up Microsoft Paint and just made the canvas really big.
White.
That's just like the way.
White.
Yeah.
Just pure white.
But no, that's cool. I might pick your brain for advice about the turntable stuff, because when I finally get to the studio space, I want to scan in like the artifacts and stuff, and I need like a good way of doing that. But hopefully it's quite simple. What about like, because I don't really know about getting the undersides of objects. Is that quite easy?
It depends, because I'm looking at it right now. The way this all started, the whole making a pack of 3D scanned stuff. Well, it's mostly food, but like the way it came about was a friend asked me to make a cookie that's metallic, and I was like, I can do that. So how about I just buy some cookies at the store? I get a snack, and I also like picked 2 or 3 of the best looking cookies. And the way I've noticed this with like flat objects like biscuits, cookies, and stuff, that if you 3D scan it, you need to find, like, to 3D scan it from multiple angles. For example, with Polycam, it fills in those spaces. Like if you change the angle of the object, it can fill it in, which is great. But for the cookies, I also had to do it like standing. Oh, like side. Yeah. Okay. I also had to do it like that because you need to get the sides as a reference. Because if you just do it the top, if you just do like the top and the bottom, sometimes on Polycam, I've noticed that a lot, it just does the top and the bottom is just completely clipped. I mean, it's useful still just for some shots, but if you want to do like simulations, animation, like rotation and stuff, it won't show up, unfortunately. Okay,
interesting. Have you experimented with different kinds of photogrammetry software, or have you just been sticking with Polycam?
I've been sticking with Polycam because I feel like it's the most reliable and the quickest.
Yeah.
And I pay for it monthly, which actually it's quite useful when I need something. It's reliable. But I've also used Meshroom as well.
Oh yeah.
Which is an open source tool, and that's how I started with 3D scanning actually. But yeah, I started with Meshroom and I moved up to Polycam purely because of the accessibility and speed. Because if I need to use what's the other one? Mesh Mixer? Is it? No, it's Mesh Mixer is another tool. The one from Epic Games, the Epic Games Reality Capture.
Yeah, that's it.
I looked at it, but the thing that Polycam does for me is just that pure. I just pull out my phone and start taking pictures.
Yeah.
They have an app, but I didn't hear that many good things about it.
And I didn't know they had an app. Is that like a kind of Mac?
It's like Polycam. Okay. It's just like Polycam.
Right. Okay.
Like you have it on your phone, you take pictures, and it does that in the cloud.
Oh, well, the reality capture does that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I haven't tried that. Okay, interesting.
I haven't seen.
Maybe I'll check
I haven't used that one, but the only thing that bothers me about reality capture is I know you don't have to pay for like monthly. It's like per 3D scan Yeah. But
is it this one, Reality Scan by Epic?
Yeah, that's the one.
By Unreal.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
Wait.
Okay.
Reality Scan. Does it have like a chair somewhere in the screenshots? I think so.
Let me check that. Chair.
Yep, there we go.
Yeah.
That's the one.
All right. And yeah, I'll give that a try then, because the quality of their scans from Reality Capture is actually really good.
Oh, I know. I know. I've seen. I am planning on, because the phone is good for some like handful of stuff, but when you get like, if you want to 3D scan something bigger, or like statues, sculptures, mountains even, you do need like a bigger camera or a drone or stuff. But the way Reality Capture does the details, the small details, is
very good,
amazing, very good.
Have you experimented with like combining the photogrammetry workflow with the sculpting workflow? Like, is that something you've played with?
I have. The challenge that I did for the Pumpkin Man.
Oh yes, yeah.
That it wasn't photogrammetry, but it was 3D scanning. When my Face ID was still working, I scanned my face doing the face that is currently in the sculpture, in the final piece. I 3D scanned my face and I worked on it on top of that.
Right.
And added stuff. And actually, the pumpkin is also a 3D scan. That is photogrammetry. So I combined both of them into like one final piece. So yeah.
I've always liked your like challenge entries for when we do the art challenges on our Discord server, and the first one you did was the macaroni art one, I think.
Yeah.
And that one, because I didn't really know you at the time, I looked at it and I thought, this person like pulling a prank or something, because I genuinely thought it was real. And
listen, you said it.
Yeah.
You said, as far as I'm concerned, you can apply with the macaroni art.
Yeah, I did.
That's exactly what I did.
Yeah, for people wondering, like, as we do little art challenges on my server every now and again, although the last one I still haven't judged the entries and it's been like a few months, so I'm really falling behind. But like I said, I really wasn't that concerned about how people took part because it's all just for fun. So I said that, yeah, macaroni art is a perfectly viable method of producing art for the challenge. Yeah. So Donna did a realistic macaroni art in 3D, and it was very good. The glue is what sold it.
Yeah, I did. I spent time actually just like refining and sculpting that and looking at references of glue. I bought glue and put it on paper just to see how it would look like. Yeah,
amazing. So yeah, that's for sculpting. You told me that you use Nomad a lot on the iPad.
I do. I do.
But you also use Blender as well, right?
Both. I use both. Actually, I'm trying to get more into the Blender's sculpting stuff, mainly because of the ease of use. I have all my tools there, but the accessibility that Nomad has, I can be in a couch or in the bus, in a train, anywhere, and I can just get into sculpting like a piece that I'm finishing. And the pen pressure, the fact that I can use like my hands to zoom in, zoom out, move around, orbit. That's what I love about Nomad, because it's all interactive. It's all gesture based, and I do not have to like find Control-Alt-Z, Control-Shift, like all the shortcuts, like just 2-finger tap, 3-finger tap. It's easy.
Yeah, I really want to give that a try, especially with the Apple Pen, because all I hear about the Apple Pen is that it's just so well designed.
It is.
But I know it's quite expensive as well.
It is. It is. But for me, for example, I do plan on learning the Blender tools more, because I just love how open source Blender is. Obviously, that's like the main selling point of Blender, that the fact that it's free. But the sculpting tools are actually really amazing, and with the new hair sculpting features, like that completely took it to another level. But the ease of use, like I can start with the base. What I'm planning is I can start with the base on Nomad, like sculpt everything that I need in Nomad, and then just finish it off slowly with Blender. That's already what I do, but I just do the retopologizing and the rendering and lighting in Blender, and hair sometimes as well.
Okay, so do you do retopologizing for all of the art pieces, or is it?
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's quite impressive then. Yeah, because I mean, it's all impressive. I just made it sound like not, the rest of it wasn't impressive. But I mean, like I didn't know that. Yeah, I thought that maybe you kind of skipped out on that process, because sometimes it's not required. But
I mean, I'm using Quad Remesher, which is developed by the same person. It's developed by the same person as the one who did the ZBrush.
Oh, okay. Well,
Remeshing tool.
Yeah. Interesting.
And it's available for all the 3D software, and it's already pre-included in ZBrush. But it's like a quick thing. If I'm not gonna do animation on the characters, like some big animation with facial motion and all that, it's quite good. Like for a still, it's amazing.
What I'll do for people is I'll try and put the links in the description for
perfect.
for the things we're talking about. Quad
Yeah.
Remesher, is that for Blender? Because I haven't really played with these too much. Is that something that needs to be added?
It's an add-on. It's an add-on for Blender. It is $15 for 3 months, I think, which is quite a bargain. But it's like $100 and something for perpetual license. Like, buy it once, you get it like forever. And
this is different from like Quadraflow, which is already in Blender. Is that like a different technique from what I know? Yeah, I think there are like there's already some kind of like quad meshing technique in Blender, but it's not as good from what I hear. But I'm not too sure.
I have I know Quadraflow. It's like
looking at the documentation, the quad remesh uses the Quadraflow algorithm. So yeah, that's something that's already in Blender, which is still it's still viable, but I think it kind of makes some mistakes around like hard surface like edges and stuff and all that. But interesting.
Yeah, I love Quad Remesher. I am planning on getting the perpetual license, but for now it's like the cozy blanket. It's also an iPad tool, but it's like $100.
Yeah, for
the app. It's steep for me, but I've heard people who bought it, like Savannah, like swear by it.
Oh, hold on. Speaking of,
you have the 3D print. Is it dabbing?
There we go. Dabbing.
Yes, it is.
Savannah XYZ. She's broken off her base.
No.
This is going to be really confusing for people that have no idea what's going on. So Savannah XYZ is quite a popular YouTuber, content creator, but people might have seen her like doing like the comedic musical shorts and songs about Blender and other software. But yeah, so she's been using Cozy Blanket. Yeah, I've seen that she really likes it. But that was developed by Pablo Debaro, wasn't it? I think the one that had been doing a lot of sculpt tool work in Blender.
Yeah. I was following because I remember seeing the first demo of it, and I was so obsessed with it. I followed it a lot. And then when they released it and I saw the price, I was a bit disheartened, but I get it because he's a developer, and obviously he did an amazing job. I did try the free, it's free just to try it out, to see like the shortcuts and all that.
Oh, that's good.
But it's just with one model. Like, you cannot import, you cannot export. Right. They did release a $19 version, but I don't know. It does still have some limitations, but I'm still planning on getting like the full version because I do need to learn eventually. I do need to stop getting shortcuts for retopologizing and rigging.
Yeah, I suppose that if it's like if it's an important part of your workflow, then it's worth the investment. Or kind of speaking about that is so in terms of work, what are your like ambitions for the future if you do have any? Like, are you kind of wanting to go more into freelance type stuff? Do you want to end up settling in like a proper studio environment? Is there anything you're aiming for, or are you kind of just seeing what opportunities present themselves?
Well, with everything that, like, personally, with everything going on, I do plan on going freelance eventually. But I do change my, like, what I like a lot. And I've never found, like, for example, right now, I'm doing some stylized work, stylized sculpts, just to try it out. And I'm quite liking that, but I still like the character design and creature design that I do, but I'm also liking like realism, and I'm a jumble still.
Same.
And also, also, I love 3D printing, and I'm just a mess. So I'd rather stay as a freelance 3D generalist rather than settling in a studio, because I've heard too many horror stories about studios and studio work, and a lot of horror stories about like working a corporate job. But I've never heard, like, I've heard client horror stories, but they never seem as difficult as the 9 to 5.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I have this weird relationship with professional work where, like, I don't really feel like I can work for anyone, but sometimes I like the idea of doing small freelance pieces, so long as, like, the requirements aren't too intense. Like, I think I kind of prefer the order of someone, like, putting in an order for something that we both already know is extremely possible, it being done, me sending it off, and that's the end of the transaction, something like that. But because, like, the back and forth of like talking, changing their mind, kills me inside. Like,
Yeah.
that's why I don't do sponsorships anymore, because like I've only done a couple, and you know, some of them are really nice, but like the people you talk to who like are kind of proposing sponsorships, sometimes like they just you agree to terms, like you sign a contract, you're agreeing to terms, and then they're trying to change the terms as you're going.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, well, they know you're not going to like try and push for legal action or anything, like if you know it gets too out of hand, but they're kind of really pushing it, and that really pisses me off, because especially when you've got like other stuff on the line, like if you're trying to do products and all this, which might ultimately bring in more money in the end, so you're kind of sitting here thinking, why am I listening to these people when I could be doing my, like it's like, so yeah, I don't know, it's weird. It's difficult trying to find like a path as a generalist in this day and age, but then again, if you don't have a kind of general skill set, then you risk becoming expendable pretty quickly.
Yeah. Exactly.
So,
but I think the best thing right now, and you might agree with me, is just if you're a 3D generalist, make products for your people.
Yeah.
I took it down now, but I made the AI brushes.
That was a well presented product, I will say. Like,
thank
all
you.
things considered, you have the branding skills. So I think if you did focus more on product stuff, you would be able to do it. Sorry to interrupt, but
yeah, don't worry. I did work as a 3D graphic designer before I started like going full throttle on 3D. I did logos daily. I had like these challenges where I would do a logo every day, but like that honed my skills for branding, but it still didn't complete me. But yeah, as for the 3D, the 3D brushes, AI generated 3D brushes, I did take them down when the whole AI, like AI generated images stuff started popping up, like with ArtStation and stuff.
Yeah.
So I did take it down purely out of respect.
Yeah.
And I am planning on starting something on my own, especially with the VDB thing that Blender launched.
Yeah, this is one thing I find interesting about you is you do have this mind for like this kind of tool creation mindset. Which again is, I think, quite important for like product development. So yeah, I mean, I've spoken to quite a few people like trying to find their way again that are generalists. There's even one person I spoke to that I've seen just started making a YouTube channel called Rio. I probably pronounced the name wrong again. Sorry. But they're coming from like a kind of medical viz space. And I remember meeting them at the conference, and they were kind of they just wanted like information on how someone could like just, you know, make a job out of this kind of space. So I gave them a lot of advice, and a lot of the advice was generally, first of all, find the community, like find the tribe that you can provide a service for. Then give stuff away for free, because you're basically kind of, that's your offering to the community, your sacrifice, your sacrificial lamb. Give the stuff away for free. Make yourself useful. Actually, like, do something for them. Then maybe occasionally do something paid. Then give more back. Do something paid. And just keep doing that. You're providing a service for people, etc. And eventually, maybe the bottom line for the money you make increases generally on average. I mean, and it's a bit of a sacrifice, because it takes a long time, like investment of time, to build up that relationship and to kind of build up those downloads, etc. But it can work out in the end. And I think I'm kind of like an example of a successful use case, or a successful case rather, at this point in time. Hopefully it stays that way. But hopefully. Like Gumroad is a good mechanism for getting free stuff out, because people can also sign up to the mailing list doing that. And also you don't have to pay to put out the messages on the inbox. So
I love that.
Yeah, so I think like other services haven't really caught up, because when you have a look at like MailChimp or other things, they're like, oh, you can have like 100 or 200,000 emails like per month, and I'm like, bitch, that's the size of my mailing list. I could send out 100,000 emails every single day, like for free, and I'm just like, you know, these other services, they really haven't caught up to like the scale of content production on the internet. So.
I was shocked at Gumroad. I even suggested it to my boss that we sell like mock-ups and stuff for other graphic designers.
Yeah.
Just like to make that extra income, but I am planning on making my own, so either way.
Yeah, well,
but yeah.
If you need more advice, like I'm always available for like looking over things product-wise. Oh, what about YouTube and stuff? Because it's a really good mechanism for, you know, kind of getting things in front of people, and it doesn't necessarily require narration or anything, but have you kind of played around with that?
Not yet. I am planning on doing something, but I think I told you about it, but I'm still gonna keep it a little secret.
That's
But
fine.
yeah, I am planning eventually on doing something on YouTube. But mainly gonna use it like just to post my show reels, animations I do, process. I am also planning on joining Twitch
Oh, interesting.
eventually. I just need the equipment.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm also planning on that one.
I don't know how difficult. I've heard that Twitch is really difficult for like kind of natural audience gaining.
Yeah, it is.
Maybe you can
It is,
consider
but
like streaming on YouTube and Twitch simultaneously if you do get into.
Is that possible?
But I believe it is. I believe it is.
Oh,
I've seen other companies
Dope.
do it, like when they're doing like these kind of publicity streams for
yeah.
games and films and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it is.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, I'm gonna give it a shot.
Well, okay. So speaking about the AI stuff,
Yeah.
and like the product you made and the concerns with the community, are you worried about the growth of AI art tools? And separately from that, do you think there's utility in AI tools in general?
Utility, yes. I do hope there will be some regulation when it comes to AI. Because I did see some tools be developed by, I think it was OpenAI, I'm not sure, but they used data from Sketchfab.
Oh, yes, I remember.
Yeah, that one was like a whole other thing, like whole other drama. And people started uploading like just like flipped normals and just bad sculpts and calling it dog, and it just be like a triangle with a smiley face on it, and just to trick the tool.
Yeah.
But I do hope there's some regulations from the EU and the US and the whole world actually regarding AI and how much it can be developed and how much money you can make off of it. Because if it's like a tool, if they say that it's gonna help artists, there must be some regulations. For example, with Midjourney, I do think that it shouldn't be able to be commercially sold for inspiration for developing. Like if you have an idea that you want to do, like a 3D sculpt or an animation, or even like inspiration for interior design, because I've seen it advance to that level. Yes, absolutely. Just say the prompt, like I want to do this, and then posting it. That is amazing.
Yeah, I think that like philosophically and legally, we haven't really come to a conclusion about what's considered fair or not copyright use, because fair use in general has always been like the messiest. Like, it's just a mess. So until there's like a more proper concrete definitions for what those things can be considered, then I don't know if there's like an easy way for legal systems to kind of decide what is or what isn't good use of like AI art tools and whatever. So it's a really tricky situation, but I think most people can sympathize with the fact that when an artist sees that their work has obviously been ripped off in someone else's AI art creation, then that's, quite unnerving. Very annoying. Yeah. Especially if it gets more attention than the original artist's work. So, I mean, we saw it with Simon Stalenhag. Did you see any of that? When I'm sorry? Simon Stalenhag. Do you know that artist?
Yeah. The one who does the paintings with like the robots.
Yeah. It's got this kind of like mellow Swedish kind of like vibe to it, like suburb meets sci-fi. When the AI art tools started kicking off, I think for the first time, there were people posting on Twitter saying, "Hey, I'm training a model based on like your artwork," and like sending it to him, and he was like, "What the why? Do you think I would like this?" Yeah.
The one thing that annoyed me was this manga artist. He passed away.
Oh, yes.
As soon as he passed away, like 2 days after, people started training AI with his artwork, and that feels so crushing.
Yeah, it's disrespectful.
And it's very disrespectful. It's like the NFT phase that people had, where there was this one case where someone stole art, like literally just save image as, and minted it, like stole artwork from creators who'd passed away, and that also felt very disrespectful. And this is the exact same thing. Like, you are training data from someone who just passed away. Like, wait, at least be respectful enough to wait.
Yeah, it's exploitative.
Exactly.
And that's kind of like one of the problems.
Yeah, and that's exactly why I didn't want to keep that product anymore, the AI tools, because I don't know where those came from.
Yeah, it's a shame because, like, did you listen to my last podcast with Ben? Like, all the way?
Not yet.
Okay, so
Sorry.
Well, let me end this call right now. No, so with the AI tools, one of the things we were speaking about is that the underlying technology, I guess, or techniques, algorithms, logic, etc., is extremely useful for not just like artistic use cases, but for other industries as well. Because a lot of it's just pattern recognition or generative simulation, data building, whatever. In pretty much any industry, you can find an application for those techniques, including art and including for cleanup, whatever, visual effects, cool. The thing is that it's a shame that these techniques are kind of getting covered up by this, cultural phenomenon of stealing the artwork, everyone getting annoyed.
Yeah.
And then that kind of gives a really bad stigma to the techniques. When we're thinking, well, actually, there are some really good applications in here that can help actual artists produce actual artwork. But now we're not thinking about that because it's just been surrounded by this crap.
Yeah, it's not just producing artworks. I saw this one thing on Reddit. I think I sent you the link, where basically someone took the training data from Polyhaven, like textures, to train an AI so that when he takes a picture of something, that AI, the training data that he used can generate the displacement, the normals, roughness, all that from a picture that he took. And that's an amazing use of an AI tool, because not only are you using Creative Commons Zero license content and textures to generate those, you are actively improving how people can use AI for, how people can implement AI into their workflow.
Yeah, correct.
And that was incredible. That was very incredible.
Very true. It'd be nice to see kind of other use cases like that coming up. But
yeah,
it does feel like a lot of the stigma is just created by the fact that a lot of really unfortunate personalities tend to gravitate towards the tools for the wrong reasons. And
Precisely.
Like that's just never going to... It's because the intelligence barrier lowers drastically. And that's usually what keeps people from, well, I don't know if that's a nice way to say it, but yeah, there's an intelligence barrier there, and that's why we don't usually get like the weirdo personalities kind of ruining everything. But now that these tools are more accessible, it's kind of filling that gap again. So it kind of feels like we need something more impressive just to like raise it a bit so that people are paying more attention to something a bit, less accessible.
I don't think it's much of an intelligence barrier as it is just like a greediness, like accessible, like, what's the word? Enabling greed.
Yeah.
Because people are making training data. People are making images and like inspiration packs. Like they did on ArtStation with AI just to make a quick buck.
That's true. For those people listening that don't know what that means, on ArtStation, if you take a look, are they still up? Like, is it still a phenomenon?
They didn't do anything. About it.
So there are people just generating thousands of versions of the same thing, basically, with AI art and calling it an inspiration pack and then selling it for money. It'll be like, oh, werewolf inspiration pack, and then they just like press a button, generate 1,000 werewolf versions, and then sell it. Yeah, it just seems kind of useless.
It's horrible.
Horrible. Then again, someone will make an argument and say that, well, as creators, we often sell tools which only remove like a small part of like the time process. But then again, like considering all these other factors, there was no intent like behind the design of it necessarily. It was just, it's very easy to see when something is just a cash grab, should we say?
Yeah.
Rather than an actual tool.
Exactly. That's how it's exactly like the NFT thing started. Like when NFTs came about, there were people who made like just a quick pack and exploited artists even. Just like, oh, I was part of this and I quit. Like as soon as I found out what was going on, I quit. There were I was supposed to design these aliens and I would get a percentage of the sales of those NFTs.
Yeah.
And that just didn't sit right with me eventually. Like when I actually thought about it, it didn't sit right with me.
Yeah. I think it's quite noble of you to like kind of come to a conclusion like that and actually taken down your work, because let me tell you, it takes a lot to get someone to take down their work when they...
like as soon as I quit, I think they quit too, because they just saw that NFTs were just falling down. Yeah. Popularity of NFTs was just popular, like falling down immensely.
Yeah.
Even on Google Trends, I think you can see the downfall.
Yeah, it's interesting, like how quickly it disappeared and then how quickly people shut up.
Yeah.
Like, because obviously I had a phase where suddenly I was getting people reporting to me that like some of my artwork was being put up, and people were using some of the artistic resources very, very lazily to make NFTs without checking first. And this is something that people don't understand, is that if you're not given commercial rights to use something, you don't have commercial rights to use something.
Yeah, exactly.
So people also just assumed a lot of the time that because something was free or freely available, that it meant that they could use it commercially, which just isn't true. You've got to be very careful with that. I do have CC0 content available, like in certain situations, especially for things like BuyGen. Comes with a content pack. BuyGen's free in GPL, official content pack, CC0, fine, makes sense then. But other use cases aren't always like that. Like if I'm doing artwork and giving a breakdown of the artwork, sometimes I make that file freely available for you to learn from, right? Doesn't mean you can take that file and then like replicate the art, sell it like commercially, all of that. You're not given that right automatically. So, my God, when I did like my NFT videos, I had people from like every side coming along, and most people were really, really nice, super genuine, lovely messages and all that. But we got some idiots that were just like, "Oh my God, you give something for free, you're just trying to exploit people, you're trying to make money off of them." What all the other music artists like give all their samples for commercial use. I'm like, am I a music artist? Like,
yeah, exactly.
People they try and manipulate you into giving them more stuff. Like it's just not how it works.
Yeah.
But people really didn't understand, the ones that put like my artwork up. There was even some situations where like there were some NFTs generated from web pages, but they were like ArtStation web pages, so they included the artwork on them. I don't know if you ever saw that, but basically they were like auto-generating people's ArtStation artwork web pages as NFTs. I was like, well, who thought that was a good idea? But yeah, it took us a long time trying to explain to them that they should take this down, and then also talking to the companies wasn't always good. Some companies took them down when they realized. Some were like, "Oh, you need to file a DMCA," and I'm like, "Well, we both agree here that that this is not legal."
But, I did see this one thing on Twitter that really bothered me and irked me. There was this one person who made stickers for, I think, Patreon, and so I saw someone reply, watermarks successfully removed and upscaled was successful. Thank you for the NFT.
Wow.
That was just crushing. And I do believe NFTs do have, or should I say had maybe, a bright future eventually with some work. But it's those imposters that came in for a quick buck and just took everything.
Yeah, I said like quite early on that all of the benefits that NFTs provide could have been done in a much more simpler way.
Yeah.
All of them, every single one of them. The design of NFTs is an unnecessary solution to a non-existent problem. That's how I described it.
Exactly.
And because of that, it just became abundantly obvious that it was a way to exploit, make money, push crypto, whatever. Basically just trying to like shoehorn it into something virtuous in quotes, so people would like pay more attention. And like,
and I don't think the word digital scarcity just really irked me.
Yeah.
Because like once something is on the internet, it's there forever. And everyone can just right-click save.
Yeah, it's interesting. So when I did like the old videos talking about the NFTs, I got some people like really trying to like write essays to convince me about like their benefit. Haven't heard from those people anymore. Like, it's just funny how they shut up in the end.
Yeah.
Do you ever watch the Line Goes Up video? Was it Line Goes Up or Line Goes Down? Line Goes Up.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah,
I did.
That was a pretty good one.
At work.
Yeah.
During work hours.
Well, it was good use of work time, I would say.
They did tell me to do research on NFTs, so
well, there you go.
I did.
I did a market research thing. I don't know if I told you about this. It was for a company doing apparel for digital space, but they were kind of asking more about how gaming communities react to like brands coming into the space, and they were asking about NFTs, and then they kept asking about NFTs, and I was like, don't. And then you could tell that they were like, someone had probably told them that, oh, NFTs are his thing, and I was like, don't.
Discord wanted to do something with NFTs, and they were like bullied into oblivion.
Yeah.
And they immediately backed out.
I gave like examples of like the community reaction to it, and I was like, I know that you think like
it's popular.
Yeah, I know that you think that, but look, it's not gonna work out.
No, people are gonna bully you.
But yeah, that was interesting. And it was like one of these kind of like really cringy use cases for it as well.
Oh god,
So yeah.
Oh god, I did see one of the companies do like this. Oh, NFT weapons in a game, and NFT this, NFT like in game, and then I think cards as well, some like digital cards. And immediately it backfired, so they had to give like all those trading cards, quote unquote, to the employees there and gift them, just so they don't have to sell them.
Yeah.
And that was just, God, how wrong do you have to be? Yeah. Just because something is trending doesn't mean it's good.
The idea of like, do you remember the idea of like being able to have an item in a game that you can take to other games?
Yeah.
I was like, the fundamental misunderstanding of like, first of all, game design, game development, or whatever. It just seems like that idea was marketed towards like kids that had like no idea, kids or child adults that just like had no fundamental understanding of the technical level. Sorry, I don't mean to like offend. It's probably really offended people, but
oh no,
I'll get with the program. Like, I don't care. But no, it's interesting. All right, so moving on. Inspirations, favorite films, shows, things. What gives you energy in your life, like creativity wise? The Last of Us. 1, the show. I haven't played the game because I don't have like a console. The show was amazing. 1. 2, I remember watching The Fly with Jeff Goldblum. That is also incredible. Also a lot of inspiration. That explains a lot.
Starring too, but like thank you, thank you. Oh my god. 2, 3 huge like Marvel movies. I love. Watched all of them. Love them. What else? I used to watch Ben 10 as a kid. And that was also huge source of inspiration. And anything to do with like alien creature art. The Thing, the movie, not the Fantastic Four character.
So you've kind of got like this appreciation for like the kind of monster films and stuff like that. What about the alien films? Kind of classic. Ridley Scott.
I haven't. I need to watch them. I haven't watched them. I need to watch them. I know.
It's the only. It's the only creature that gives me nightmares from a film. It's weird. It's the only one that's actually transcended into my dream space.
Oh God.
Yeah, it's weird. 'Cause other films, you just look at them and you think, whatever.
Sleep paralysis demon.
But there's something about the xenomorph that's just like transcendent.
Yeah.
It's weird.
It's a big bean head.
Yeah. You should watch them. And
I will.
And Aliens as well. That one's like the best, one of the best films ever, I'd say. Well, I think the best film of all time might be Raiders of the Lost Ark, but in my opinion, but still.
I remember watching that. Like the Crystal Skull one.
Oh, yeah, that's a controversial one.
I remember watching that one. It was just like weird. And then the face melting scene.
Oh, yeah.
That they did. Yeah. Classics. Yeah.
My dad would show us that as a kid, including the face melting. But then again, he's a special effects supervisor, so he wants to get the kids, on board. So this is how they do like the face melting and the gore, head exploding. Wow, thanks, Dad.
Also, a big inspiration also is like something that really helped me develop the realism, quote unquote, is the breakdowns by Corridor Digital.
Oh yeah.
I remember watching those since like the first episode where they did I think it was the first episode, I'm not sure, but where they did Sonic the Hedgehog, like the first trailer that came out. Where Paramount was bullied into oblivion.
That was crazy. Fantastic marketing though.
Yeah. And then episode 2 immediately, I think it was episode 2. I'm not sure. It was the beginning, but then they broke down the new trailer and compared and contrasted it, and then showed like why this is better and why this is more realistic than the first one.
I was quite surprised with the fact that they actually went through the design change and that they managed to do it in time. It's interesting.
I did read somewhere Well, it was on another, it was on another VFX Artist React episode. Apparently, the designer, the guy who made the Sonic design, actually, when he saw the reaction to the trailer, took responsibility and said, "Yep, I'm going to change it."
Interesting.
Yeah, I think that was very noble of him.
Yeah. It is strange because these things do usually take quite a long time. So I understand that like there's quite a bit of suspicion around it. Like maybe they already had it prepared, but I don't know.
Yeah, probably.
We'll see.
Probably. But I think like if they animated the whole movie like with the rig, I think they just had to redo the character and match the rig.
Yeah.
Probably. I don't know how that works. I don't know how that will work in a movie setting, but they did have to push it a lot.
Yeah. Interesting to think about. God, these visual effects movies, they have such large budgets. Oh, did you see that? I think Avatar, The Way of Water is now like 3rd place in like the top box office.
3rd?
Yeah, let me see. I think it's like...
Was it?
Oh, let me check.
I thought it went 1st.
Well, in terms of like all time, it's not there
I
yet.
think.
Top 10.
But that movie was incredible.
Yeah, so at the top is Avatar, the first one. Then Avengers Endgame, and now The Way of Water. So it's number 3 now.
Oh, so Titanic is 4th.
Yeah, Titanic's 4th.
Yeah.
The James Cameron, he's just trying to get the top, like, 10 before he dies. He's definitely he's gonna re-release The Way of Water and then try and kick over Endgame, I bet.
Ooh, probably.
And then re-release Titanic and then get that up as well.
Re-release Way of Water.
Yeah.
With extra scenes.
And more music by The Weeknd.
Yeah.
I really like that song, actually. That was good.
I don't remember it.
Well, that's a good sign.
I don't remember the song. I do remember the movie.
Yeah.
I do not remember the song.
I thought it was a good movie. A lot of people were divided. I quite liked it.
Recently, I go to movies more and more for the visual effects rather than the story.
Yeah. Oh, that's...
Because I know I need to rewatch it for the story. But if I go to the cinema and it's in 3D, you're damn sure I'm going for the VFX just to marvel at it.
Are you capable of suspending your disbelief? Because I know that a lot of people say that when they start getting into graphical design, they overanalyze things, but I've never had that problem. Like, I can suspend that and just enjoy the film. I don't know what you're like.
I can, but there are certain times like that something is very jarring and I just... Yeah. It bugs me.
Like the Scorpion King from The Mummy.
Yeah, that one. That one. Also, in She-Hulk, there were some certain scenes that just like took me out of it completely.
Yeah, I still haven't seen that, but I don't think I ever will.
It's a good show. It's a funny show, but there were some scenes that were just like jarring to look at.
Oh, did you see that the Spider-Man films are coming to Disney Plus now?
Yes.
Finally.
Yes. Oh, I think when I looked at it, they were already there. Like, when I got it, I think they were already there.
Nice.
Because I did watch Spider-Verse.
Oh,
I
yeah.
missed it.
Cool stuff. I'm looking forward to the next one.
Same.
Yeah,
it was supposed to come out last year, but...
Oh, they can take their time. It's interesting, though. Like, I wonder how long it'll be for the next season of Arcane to come out.
Probably a while.
I wonder if that's still 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. Hang on.
100?
Yep.
Whoa. I don't know anything that reached 100% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, there are a few things, but not many.
I do find, like, Rotten Tomatoes to be a bit unreliable.
Yeah.
When it comes to... Oh,
100%.
Damn!
Too right.
I do find... It's just like, excuse my language, you can bleep it out, but it's just like some pompous pricks. Just like critiquing this children's movie, a kid's movie. Yeah, like it was a Martin Scorsese film. Like, look, it's Mario.
Yeah, exactly. I hate that.
Don't expect something big to happen.
It's the same thing.
I haven't watched it, but like, still.
When it's someone's job to do something, they overdo it. Or that they get blind to the fact that sometimes the job doesn't need to be done. I'm just saying that in general. That's another problem with sponsorships again, right? When you make like a video for a sponsorship and then it gets reviewed, sometimes it's someone's job to review videos. I'm just like, this is fine. And they're like, can you just change this? Make this a bit longer? I'm like, dude, it won't make a fucking difference to like someone watching the video. I know it's your job to review this, right? Take a hint.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. just like, I know this, I know what you're trying to do, and I know you're trying to be, like, professional. That's not how this works.
Donna, you're back?
Are we back? Are we back? Oh god, I am so sorry.
Have you kept recording? Or?
This may have ruined your podcast. Oh god. Yeah, okay, it's good. It's better now.
We're alive.
Oh god.
So you kept recording?
Yeah, I did.
Am I going to hear you going, shit, fuck, shit?
Yeah.
All right.
And the viewers will just hear Morse code.
Yeah. It's fine. I think I leave in the swearing. It's a podcast, so keep it raw. But you can mark things as explicit when you're uploading them to, like, the audio ether for, like, Spotify and stuff. You see that they've got, like, a little E where it says explicit.
For explicit. Wow.
Yes.
So explicit.
Or eccentric.
Yeah. It's just, how explicit can it be? It's just two 3D nerds talking to each other.
Yeah. They can get very explicit. So let me just, I want to tell you about an idea I had recently. For the new studio, I really like the idea of having a video wall, but it's extremely expensive. So basically, where one of the walls is entirely a screen. So like bright LED emissive, like it's all up my alley. Something which could also be a green screen if you wanted, if you didn't have like the seams. But it'd be great for like regular recordings and maybe music video typey things, or even just like all sorts of other like creative stuff, backdrops for like the studio, like lighting things. But it's extremely expensive. So I was like thinking about ways to do it. I spoke to my dad. He said, well, the cheaper way of doing it would be to have like a rear projection, but that takes up space. But that still works. But I thought maybe I'll do a compromise where I basically just buy a bunch of high quality TVs, make a rig to like
a bunch
of high quality TVs, and basically build a rig that can like move around but can also be quite flat against a wall, and then kind of have that so it can be extended upon like over time. But I might do that, and that could be something like fun to like put things up. But there's this one YouTuber that has like that background. He's a tech YouTuber, not much like 3D and stuff. Mr. Who's the Boss. Oh, right. Oh, yes.
Yeah, he has that kind of thing in the background where he just puts like a looping animation in the background. Okay. But what you're mentioning is, I believe, kind of like what Star Wars does with like the volume. I believe that's what you're mentioning. I know. Kind of.
I know a little bit about that I probably can't say. But yeah, there's some limited utility in those, should we say, for filming. But something a bit like that. But I'll just do like a kind of flat wall. Yeah, it'd be interesting.
But couldn't you just get like a cheap projector?
Yeah, but the thing is, I don't want space consumption, basically. Like, I just want something that can just be its somewhat thin self against a wall, so that it's not actually taking up space in the volume of the room. And obviously with a projector, it's like, you have it, you've got your cone, that's space, you've got like the thing that it's... So, we'll see.
But yeah, it sounds like a good idea, honestly.
And then
I do want to get like a bigger like monitor for myself. I mean, it's not like background, but I'm planning on getting like something a widescreen. Monitor.
Well, I've been thinking about like the ultra wide ones. They're not good for recording, but like I don't know what that would be like. Whether it's actually useful or just more of a gimmick.
I mean, it feels like a gimmick because I did see this guy on TikTok have 3 of them, and it was just like 180 degree view.
Yeah, I imagine that's great for things like flight simulators, but like.
I think that's why he got it, but he was playing a platformer.
Wow, Terraria! Look how far I can see.
It was Terraria.
Oh, really?
It was Terraria, and he had like he had to turn like 90 degrees just to see inventory and like.
Oh, God.
Oh, God.
Yeah, that's a bit weird. Oh, another thing I want to do, which might be a bit weird.
Yeah.
We were talking about turntables for 3D scanning, but a human-sized one, which should be fine. But then also, I'm going to have to send you some funny pictures of me like posing for like a statue sculpt, just like spinning around on a turntable, and then like taking that into like Sculpting or something. That'd be funny.
That's actually really... But here's the thing that I noticed with 3D scanning people is that unless they're dead, you cannot 3D scan them properly. Because there's various micro movements.
Yeah.
So the only solution to 3D scan people is to have like a lot of cameras.
And do it really quickly.
Yeah. Just like simultaneously just click the shutter on all of them. Like activate all of them at the same time. That's the only way to properly, well, not the the only way to capture a person.
What if we find the perfect spin rate for the turntable where it doesn't affect like parts of the body and have like some structural support? So just like have the person go whoop really quickly and just take all the pictures.
Yeah. Or have the camera spin.
Yes. Interesting. That's doable. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like if you have the camera spinning, you can, if it's like one of those like high speed, have you seen those the Met Gala, the Grammys or whatever, where they use a high-speed camera to record a celebrity? Like, it goes, like, close up really fast.
Oh, yeah.
If you use, like, one of those cameras, which costs about the same price as a McLaren, like, yeah, probably.
Yeah, I think the thing about like the moving the camera around is if you've got like a plain background, then that's going to be a bit tricky. But it's interesting.
What do you mean if you have a plain background?
Like if you've got like a green screen or a wide screen or a black screen, then you'd also have to make sure that either that's completely 360 on the lighting's inside or that moves around on the other side. If you want to keep it like consistent.
That's actually what they do with those automatic 3D scanners. Like there are a few open source ones. You can stick a piece of paper on the other side, like directly matching the camera.
Yeah.
And like that's how you, like, as the camera moves, there's always like a white plane behind the object.
Yeah, so I kind of want to do something a bit like that, but like human scale. But again, that doesn't take up too much space.
Yeah. So true. But yeah, I mean, unless you're gonna go and fix the model in post, which is what a lot of people, like what a lot of studios do. I have a friend who worked in the Last of Us game, and they scanned her face for it, like, and then edited the face in post, because obviously 3D scanning will have horrible topology, but oftentimes it will have like defects. For example, like a piece of skin will just, like a flap of skin will just be sticking out because of the reflections. But it's not impossible. It's just a lot of extra steps. But you can use photogrammetry with a person. I think Corridor does that with Polycam even.
Yeah.
Just go like around.
I've gotten some pretty good results from bad imagery. In fact, like the Substance Sampler program allows you to do photogrammetry. It's nowhere near as high quality as something like reality capture, but it's still pretty stable. And they do have an interesting thing on there, which is AI auto masking. I don't know whether the other ones do this. It automatically blocks out everything but the subject from the images before it's processed.
Oh yeah, Polycam has that.
Yeah, okay, good. Yeah, because that does make a big difference when you're doing like when people, because something about like having the extra scene around, even if it's like a background or whatever, if it can capture anything, it kind of like lower reses the subject. So that's really handy. Yeah,
that came in handy a lot of times with Polycam. I am trying to. We circled back to 3D scanning, but full circle. But I am planning on like putting one of the models, like one of the scans that I did through Mesh Mixer, just to see if it's like more deep. But I don't want to wait 6 hours for it.
Yeah, that takes a while.
6 hours, Mesh Mixer. What was the name of the software again?
Meshroom or the other?
Meshroom.
Yeah,
Mesh Mixer is another thing.
The open source one is Meshroom.
Meshroom and Polycam. Like 6 hours up to 30 minutes. Yeah, I'd rather have the 30 minutes one. Let it be lower resolution. It's fine.
Yeah, it's kind of like between Cycles and Eevee. It's kind of hard making a decision for what you want, but at the end of the day, I just got to have that lighting. You know, you got to have the quality. 6 hours for a good scan. I'll sit there. Give me the quality. So we've been going for over an hour. Before we close this up, I want to ask you a question. It's a bit of a weird one, but it's also, for me, I would say. When I move to the Future Studio, I'm going to be wanting to do some really weird merch, like weird one-off things that I'm making. And I've had this idea for a while, and Garrett Watts just started doing it. So I was kind of thinking, damn, another YouTuber got to it before me. But like random sculptures, random artwork, as well as like regular stuff as well, like random sketches and like whatever. Do you have any ideas for things I could do? Because I've got some really weird ideas, like for sculptures and stuff. Like,
okay, because when you mentioned like weird merch, my mind went to Måneskin, the Italian band.
Okay, I don't know about
Don't
that.
Google.
Alright, I won't.
Okay, no. Google it, but don't say what it is, because that's where my mind went.
How do you spell it?
Mane skin. It's all together.
So, what am I looking for?
One second. Let me find it. Actually, official merch. Okay, because they do have some weird stuff. I don't know. Did they? There we go.
Alright, if you send
I'll send it on Discord.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah, no, I'm not doing that.
Good.
I was going to do like more kind of artsy things, sculpture things.
Yeah.
For example, I've been keeping like all of my work notes for years, like 5 years. I was going to make artwork from the work notes. So they've actually got a reason. It'd be like people can have like a little piece of history for like the channel or whatever. But I'll try and actually turn it into something cool.
Yeah, it's actually amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, posters. You have some amazing artwork that could be like an amazing poster.
Yeah. I don't know. I kind of find, for some reason, the idea of like the digital art merge a bit boring or a bit like normal, I guess. But yeah.
It is, but still, it's amazing work.
And in terms of weird, one of the weirdest things, which I don't think I'll go through with, and maybe I shouldn't say it, blood artwork. Blood work. Yeah, ooh. No, not, okay, so it wasn't like, going to be over the top. It was just for some of like the sketch work or whatever, some colored accent lines, and I thought, wouldn't it be kind of funky?
Oh, God.
Yeah.
It's like paper cuts.
So let me see what else I've got here.
I mean, if you do like medical blood work, like here's my blood work on a t-shirt.
All right, so here's some more ideas. Buy or burn. I was going to do artwork where people could buy it for a set amount of time, but if they didn't, I would set it on fire. So proper canvas artworks. What have we got here? What can I say? I've been collecting bottle caps since 2015. I was going to make artwork from them.
Nice.
Let's see. The attention deficit series.
Okay, perfect. That one.
Yeah. Okay, so near some kind of interesting landmarks in the country, I was going to like take little pieces of them and make sculptures from them, so people could like take a piece of the country or whatever. So donation token art, because I do lots of different projects. I thought it'd be interesting for people to like be able to donate to projects but get something back for it. So I was going to make little tokens, handcrafted ones, so people have like a kind of something back for donating. So like if they like the YouTube channel, they want to donate for that reason, they can basically purchase the token, and that's like they've donated, but they also get something back for it. But we do that for like every different kind of thing.
That's actually really good.
So yeah, fashion design, that'd be interesting. 3D printed modular computer casing. There's other things on here. I might keep them quiet, but yeah, I think it'll be fun.
The weirder the merch, the more you stand out.
Yeah,
I think.
Exactly.
Because, stickers, cool. T-shirts, cool.
Yeah, I like the idea
of
everything being one of a kind, even if they're like part of a series, but just so that no one has exactly the same thing, I think is good.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, this has been an interesting chat. Is there anything like you want to share with people, or where can people find you, Dona?
I have the same username everywhere. Dona Designs in 3D, Dona Designs in 3D. That's my username everywhere. So Instagram, Twitter, not for long, but yeah, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, everywhere. ArtStation. Yeah, that's my username everywhere. I'm lucky that I got it.
Yeah. And would you say if anyone wants to contact you for like any potential work or anything, are you open to freelance or at this point in time?
I am. I do have a commission sheet. If someone wants commissions, I do have a commission sheet on my Instagram. If you want to commission me. That also, I'm available for freelance work, anything. So not just what's on my Instagram, but other stuff as well. I don't mind. And yeah. All
right, nice. Well, hopefully you've enjoyed the conversation. Okay. Well, maybe I should I let Ben do this as well. Can you pick an emoji for the comments?
Okay, that is difficult. That is a difficult.
Yes.
Let me look at my most used emojis real quick.
That could be dangerous territory.
No, don't worry about it. Yeah, don't worry about it. It's fine. Okay, 1 second. Let's just do the pirate flag emoji.
Pirate flag, nice. So this is for anyone on YouTube. If you made it this far through the video, can you please put a pirate flag emoji in the comments so we can see? It basically helps us get a bit of like a tally for who made it to the end. and, you know, recognizing faces of our favorite viewers. But obviously, if you're listening somewhere else, then this won't apply. But yeah, so thank you for listening, everyone. And thank you for coming along, Donna. This was
Bye-bye.
cool. All right. Au revoir.
It was a pleasure.